And besides, they'd be making too many of their own councillors homeless, not to mention one or two of their MPs. And we want to bring more choice to parents, too. Parents, we as parents, have the prime responsibility to set the standards and to instill the values by which our children are brought up. And none of us has the right to blame the teachers for failing to make up for our shortcomings. But we have every right to be involved in what goes on in our children's schools. As parents, we want to be sure not just about the teaching of the 3 R's, but also about the discipline and about the values by which our children are taught to live. We have given parents more say in the choice of school. We have put parents on governing bodies. For the first time in modern Britain, a government is really paying attention, not just to school organisation, but to the curriculum. Not just to the buildings, but to what is taught inside them. And we're not afraid to talk about discipline and moral values. To us, law and order is not an election slogan. It is the foundation of the British tradition. And I believe that looking back on this first Parliament of ours, it will be said that we have done more to support the police than any British government since the war. There are more of them, we pay them better, we train them better, and we equip them better. And for that, you know who we have to thank. I am eternally grateful for the good sense, good humour, and loyalty of Willie Whitehall. Perhaps only I know how staunch he was throughout the whole of the Falklands campaign and the difficult decisions we have to take. Thank you very much. Mr. President, it can't be the police alone who are on duty. As parents, as teachers, as politicians and citizens, what we say and do, whether in the home, the classroom or the House of Commons, is bound to leave its mark on the next generation. The television producer who glamorizes violence may find his viewing figures ultimately reflected in the crime statistics. And a public figure who comments to the camera on issues of the day should be especially careful what he says. The other day, the last Labour Prime Minister, and I do mean the last Labour Prime Minister, of what he called a contingent right in certain circumstances to break the law. Mr. President, none of us has a right, contingent or otherwise, to uphold the law that suits us and to break the one that doesn't. that way lies anarchy. The last Labour Prime Minister. Mr. President, there are many people in Britain who share the hopes and the ideals of the Conservative Party. They share our great purpose to restore to this country its influence and its self-respect. But they are anxious about the future and uncertain about the changes that we've had to make. They have not recognised how far the debating ground of British politics has moved to the left over the last 30 years. Where the left stood yesterday, the centre stands today. Yet the British people haven't moved with it. Instinctively, they know that we have to pull this country back to the real centre again. But the anxious say to us, you really can't do everything at once. The recession and the international economic situation make things particularly difficult. Why not adapt your approach a little? Give in for the time being, till things are getting better. Then you can start again after the next election, when you've longer time to do it. Mr. President, to do that would be a betrayal. People in Britain have grown to understand that this government will make no false promises, nor will it fail in its resolve. How can a government urge the people to save and build for tomorrow if the people know that that same government is willing to bend and trim for the sake of votes today? That's not trusting the people, and it's not the way to be trusted by them. Nothing could be more damaging to our prospects as a nation if this government were to throw away the reputation it has earned for constancy and resolve. It would throw away 3 years of hard-won achievement. On what moral basis would we be entitled to ask for the nation's support next time? Mr. President, the only way we can achieve great things for Britain is by asking great things of Britain. We will not disguise our purpose, nor betray our principles. We will do what must be done. We will tell the people the truth, and the people will be our judge.
Absolutely.